Are we live? Hold on a second. Yeah, we're live. Okay. I have I have it playing on a laptop and I'm kind of hearing it just to make sure that it's live. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Single Player Podcast. I'm your one and only host, I'm 16-bit, and I got a good show for this week because we're going to be talking about the PS5 price hike, Denuvo coming to the Switch, and the Gamescom Awards, plus more. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. And I'll be with you live because this is unlike any other show. We're not doing the usual music and all that extra bullshit. Mostly because honestly, it's eating into some projects I want to work on. So I'm like, okay, you know what? What if I did the entire show live? Actually, hold on a second. All right, I raised the audio a bit, so it should be a little bit better because it's sounding low. Oh wait, no, lower it, lower it, lower it. Shit. Yeah, I lowered it because it's there's a lot of background sound. But anyway, so as we usually do, let's start off with the gaming forecast. All right, so let's go over here. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone in the world's favorite segment. It's time for the gaming forecast. So let's see what's coming out in the week of September 4th to the 10th. Okay, as you can see here on September 6th, you have 6 games coming out. You've got Biomutant for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, Circus Electrique for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X, Temtem for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X, The Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition for PlayStation 4, and Train Sim World 3 for Windows, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X. Then on the 8th, let me see here. Yes, it's moved. Okay, good. Then on the 8th, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 games coming out. You have Adventure Academia: The Fractured Continent coming to Japan on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, and worldwide on Windows. You then have Alice Gear Aegis CS Concerto Simulatrix releasing only in Japan on Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and 5. Black Witchcraft for Windows, the BPM Bullets Per Minute for Nintendo Switch, The Fox Awaits Me for PlayStation 4, Jack Move for Windows, Steel Rising for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X, Tower Princess for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and White Day, a Labyrinth Named School for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Then on the 9th, you have 2 games coming out. NBA 2K23 for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X, and Splatoon 3 for Nintendo Switch. And that was your gaming forecast. Not bad. Oh, wait. Did I forget to change it? Shit. Whoops. Whoopsie. Yeah. NBA 2K23 for and Splatoon 3. But anyway, and that was your gaming forecast. Some interesting stuff there. The one I'm definitely looking forward to is Splatoon 3. But with that being said, let us move on to our first topic. Let me get over to there. And that's it, right? Yep. Okay. Whoops. All right. Okay. Our first topic. PS5 price to increase in select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation rates. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The PS5 is getting a price hike. What in the absolute fuck? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? In the entire history of video games, I don't think I've ever heard of a console getting a price hike. I mean, like MSRP wise, not like for example, a retailer raises the price or whatever. No, I'm talking about the MSRP. I have never seen a company ever do that with their consoles. So yeah, here we go. This is of course coming from Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, or just PlayStation. I miss when they were just Sony Computer Entertainment. So anyway, he said, and I quote, "The global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, SIE has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of PlayStation 5 in select markets across Europe, Middle East and Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, as well as Canada. There will be no price increase in the United States." And as you can see, there's the prices below. Now, obviously, I don't live in any of these countries. I'm from the good old US of A. So I didn't really know how much they were going for in those countries, but I looked it up, and apparently, like for example in Europe, the PS5 for the physical edition, or the disc-based version, whatever you want to call it, it usually goes for 449 euros. Okay, with the digital edition going for $399. Now, as you can see here, it's going up to $549.99 and $449.99, and of course it goes down all the way. Now, I understand that right now, the world is going through some pretty major issues right now. We're on the verge of a recession. There's constant shipping and production issues. I get that. But I don't think raising the price of your console is exactly a good idea. Especially, and this one got me, is of course Japan. You see, the interesting thing about Japan is that according to an analyst, this was like a couple of months ago, the PlayStation brand is basically dead in Japan. Like, there's no one over there is even interested in this system. Everyone is either going to mobile or Nintendo Switch. Okay? Xbox actually has a lead over PlayStation in Japan. I shit you not. Okay? Well, at least they're closing that gap. All right? Pretty quickly. But if you're fucking up in a country where you should be the top dog, you should be number one, I don't think it's a good idea to raise the price of your console there. I think this is a bad idea. And such a bad idea, not even Microsoft is doing it. Get a load of this. This comes from Windows Central. Xbox responds to PlayStation price hike. They spoke to them, and Microsoft sent them a statement. Let's see, where is it? Right over here. "We are constantly evaluating our business to offer our fans great gaming options. Our Xbox Series S suggested retail price remains $299, and the Series X is $499. So there you go. Microsoft has no interest. Even Microsoft sees how fucking stupid it is to raise the price of your console. Okay? We know Nintendo's not even doing this shit. Okay? I don't know why Sony thinks this is a good idea. I mean, I get it, that you're dealing with production and shipping issues, but I don't think this is going to help you. Okay? As I said, not even Nintendo's doing this. Like, Nintendo was asked a couple of months, was it last month, I think? A couple of weeks ago, they were asked about it. And even they said, we're not interested in raising the price of our consoles. So there you go. Like, if Microsoft and Nintendo think that this is a stupid idea, then it's a stupid idea. And I think, yeah, this is going to fuck Sony in the ass so hard. I don't want Sony to fuck up. I really don't. But they make it so easy for themselves to. Okay? I don't know what the hell happened to Sony, but they're not the company I grew up with. They're not the PlayStation that gave me the PS1 and the PS2. Okay? It's depressing. It's sad and depressing to watch. And honestly, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Sony, this is a stupid idea. You shouldn't be raising your prices. I understand that you're dealing with a lot of economic issues. That was going to happen. Anyone, honestly, you know what? I'm starting to think that maybe releasing the PS5 and the Xbox Series X was a bad idea in 2020. It was a terrible idea. Microsoft and Sony should have seen what was coming. They should have seen the fact that you had all these shipping and production lanes shutting down. Okay? That should tell you something. That should tell you, yeah, those production lanes aren't going to be coming back in full for a long time. I think Microsoft and Sony should have not released these systems. I think they should have held back. Hell, I'm convinced that that's what the Switch OLED was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a next-gen Nintendo system, or at least a successor to the Switch. A Switch Pro, whatever the hell you want to call it. But they looked at the situation and said, yeah, we're not going to do this. Scrap the more powerful Switch. Just use the OLED screen for the standard Switch. That's what I think the Switch OLED is actually, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a much more powerful Switch. Nintendo looked at the situation, realized, yeah, this is not a good idea, and backed out. And I think Microsoft and Sony should have done the exact same thing because it's fucking them over. And Sony doing this is a bad idea. Bad idea. I don't know what the hell Sony is doing. Sony, you... You make it so easy for me to criticize you. That's the problem. That's the problem. You make it so goddamn easy. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic. All right, now we're going back to Twitter, and I'm not going to talk about, not ignoring that. Anyway, Netflix, as you guys know, have been doing a lot of adaptations lately, and yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, as you can see here, Netflix has officially announced that their BioShock live-action movie will be the writer and director of it. As you can see here, they have it will be directed by Francis Lawrence, who previously did I Am Legend and Hunger Games. In fact, he did some other Hunger Games sequels. Honestly, I saw I Am Legend. I only saw the first Hunger Games. I didn't see the sequels, but. Okay. That's interesting. But what got me is it's being written by Michael Green, and he wrote Logan. And Logan was alright, but Blade Runner 2049. Oh, fuck. Yes, I am one of those people who absolutely hated Blade Runner 2049. It's a terrible movie. Yes, I like the style of it, but it doesn't... The writing and the script is just god-awful. But this does not give me any hope that it's going to be any good. What I'm worried about is how they're going to handle the source material. Because here's the thing about BioShock, okay? It has some themes in it that people, I think, completely misunderstand. You see it a lot on Twitter where they talk about how BioShock is... They talk about how BioShock's political. And in a sense, yes, it is political. But not what these terminally online weirdos think it is, okay? I've always seen the series as not like against any particular ideology, or at least it's critical of ideologies, but it's more critical of utopianism. You know, the idea of, oh, if we follow this one ideology, everything will be perfect, everything will be great. And you could see this throughout the series. You could see this in the first game, where Andrew Ryan, I'm not going to lie, he actually, I think he had good intentions. If I'm being quite frank, I kind of agree with his opening monologue. He kind of has a point. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his own brow? You know, he's got a point there. However, as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that's exactly what happens in BioShock. Everything goes to shit. Yes, he had good intentions, but obviously an objectivist utopia is impossible. You get rapture. That's exactly what happens, you know. Whereas BioShock 2, whereas BioShock 1 is like is critical of objectivist utopias, BioShock 2 is critical of Marxist utopias. And there's a reason why some people don't talk about it whenever they use BioShock as all games are political. Oh fuck. What's the word? I'm gonna do this. shit. What's the word I'm thinking of? Fuck, I'm blanking. As a example, that's what I meant to say. Whenever they use that as an example of all games are political, they always ignore part two because it goes against many of their own beliefs. BioShock 3, you kind of get the same. Well, Infinite, you kind of get the same thing, but it's a little bit. Honestly, I felt Infinite was kind of all over the place with its messaging. It couldn't just stick to like one ideology. It had to go around to every other ideology, and it was like, dude, keep it together. You know, keep the writing tight. That's one thing I loved about BioShock 1 and 2. The writing in those games were tight. Infinite, not so much. The gameplay was kind of crap, and honestly, I was completely disappointed with it. But anyway, what I'm worried is that they're going to completely misunderstand that. And what you're going to get is a movie that is the complete opposite of what the games actually are. Okay? When it comes to theming, they're going to completely botch it. And as we've seen with Netflix, they of course are used to botching shit. Okay? Speaking of botches, oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Resident Evil series canceled by Netflix after one season. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming? Oh, I didn't. I didn't see it coming at all. Of course it was going to be shit. Of course it was going to get canceled. My God, have you seen Netflix's most recent adaptations? Have you seen Cowboy Bebop? Did you see Death Note? Of course Resident Evil was going to be absolute dog shit. And I'm not surprised. I am absolutely not surprised. Okay? It was a dog shit adaptation. I knew it was going to be shit the moment I heard about the plot synopsis. About how, oh, it's Wesker's daughters. And I was like, okay, this is going to be shit. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be worse than Welcome to Raccoon City. I'll at least give Welcome to Raccoon City credit that it actually at least tried to take elements from the game and adapt them, even though it's very, very loose, and even then it's still not a good adaptation, but at least it tried. You know what I'm saying? This pile of crap didn't even bother. What they did is basically wrote the shittiest Resident Evil fanfiction I have ever seen. My God, it was shit. Like, you know what? I think I knew it was going to get canceled the moment I heard something about a line about Zootopia porn. Like, yeah, they mentioned that in the series, and I'm like, what the fuck? Now, granted, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even bother because, well, I haven't had a Netflix account since 2020, so 2 years. So, I'm not missing out on much, and I'm glad that I didn't fund this shit. Seriously, I would have been fucking pissed. Of course, this doesn't, and it, you know, it's a shame because I think the only good video game adaptation Netflix has actually done was Castlevania. I know some people didn't like Castlevania. I don't know why, because I actually thought it was pretty good. I think it's an excellent series. Granted, I haven't watched season 4, but I have watched the first 3 seasons, and I loved it. So, it's kind of shocking when you look how good that series is, and then you look at Resident Evil, and it's like, oh no. Oh, fucking no. What did you do? Netflix. Oh, boy. It's sad. It's really sad because there is something there. I definitely think that this could be adapted well. And it's possible. For fuck's sake. I've said it before and I'll say it again. George Romero has written and directed the best live-action Resident Evil adaptation you have ever seen. And it was a fucking commercial. It was the Japanese commercial for Resident Evil 2. Okay? And it wasn't even... And on top of being directed by him, the special effects were done by Screaming Mad George, who is a fantastic special effects artist. Dude is amazing. He did one of my favorite 80s horror comedies called Society. if you've never seen that movie, go check it out. It's fucking amazing. But let the shunting begin. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not surprised Resident Evil has been canceled. It deserves it. It gets what it fucking deserves. Okay. It was shit. It was gonna be shit. And honestly, considering this, Cowboy Bebop and Death Note, not only do I have no hope for BioShock, I have no hope for One Piece. Oh, you know One Piece is going to be garbage. You know that they're going to fuck that up spectacularly. So, anyway, let's move on to our next story. Oh, boy. Yep. Denuvo has announced that Denuvo is launching on the Nintendo Switch. Oof. That's not good. That is not a good. Yep, they said here, Denuvo by Irideto, the global leader in providing security solutions and bricking PCs. Solutions for video games on desktop, console, and mobile platforms, is pleased to unveil a revolutionary technology to protect games launching on Nintendo Switch from piracy. The announcement comes as the video game industry is gathered for this year's Gamescom, currently taking place in Cologne, Germany. Nintendo consoles have long suffered from piracy issues, and the Switch is no different, mostly because of Nintendo's own doing. Let's be honest here, okay? A lot of this shit is caused by Nintendo because they've always been shit when it comes to preventing piracy. Okay? Even going back to the NES era. Okay? They've always been terrible at protecting their own games. Okay? Even if a game is protected against piracy on its PC version, the release version on Switch can be emulated from day one and played on PC, therefore bypassing the strong protections off PC, blah, blah, blah. Oh, boy. We had to move on to piracy, blah, blah, blah. And all of this is just a press release. But here's why this sucks. Because Denuvo is probably one of the most intrusive anti-piracy software ever created. This is something that, depending on the game, it will literally install itself onto your OS. I'm not even kidding. It will install itself directly into your root files. I think that's what they call it. Okay. That's how intrusive this shit is. That's why I refuse to install any game that has Denuvo. Okay, because in the past, because it's had a history. Because here's the thing, it takes up a lot of processing power, depending on the game and how it's implemented in games. So depending on that, it could take up a lot of processing power, and in some cases it overheats your PC, and in others it completely bricks it. There have been numerous cases of this software destroying PCs. So when I hear that it's coming to the Switch, all I could think of, dear God, when you run fucking Doom 2016 on the Switch, the fan just goes at full blast. Now imagine that with Denuvo. Yeah, this thing is gonna catch on fire. It's gonna I guarantee you. You run a game with Denuvo on Nintendo Switch, that thing's gonna fucking explode. Okay? This is just fucking ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. It's why I wish Steam would get rid of third-party anti-piracy, whatever the hell they call it. Or they call it anti-cheat or whatever. Because what it does is it fucks with people's computers. Okay? A lot of the time, it's very intrusive and can, in fact, brick your own PC. So, I don't like this idea. And I think that this is, let's just say this. When this launches, and you get a lot of reports of Switches basically bricking or melting, and there is already several cases of Switches melting. Guess who to blame? Fucking Denuvo. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic. Alright, we're going back to Twitter this time, and as you can see here, we have the government of Saudi Arabia. Now, why do I have them on here? Because apparently they've officially approved the Activision acquisition. Say that 5 times fast. Yep, they've officially confirmed it. As you can see here, I had to translate it. The government of Saudi Arabia, at least that's what I'm assuming it says, declares that it has no objection to completing the process of economic concentration between Microsoft Corporation and Activision Blizzard. So it is the government of Saudi Arabia, which I think owns some shares in Microsoft, they've officially approved it. Now, obviously, there's still some other processes in other countries. It still has to go through the U.S., and of course, it still has to go through, Brazil right now. That's the one I talked about last week, where right now there's a big legal battle between Microsoft and Sony over this entire thing, and they're slinging mud at each other. So, it seems Saudi Arabia has actually approved the acquisition. I don't mind that. I mean, not that I don't mind that, but I'm like, okay, they approved it. I don't like it. I honestly, here's the thing. I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't like the acquisition. I don't like the idea of Microsoft owning a massive publisher like Activision Blizzard. But on the other hand, I understand why they're doing that. So I just think it's too much of a purchase. My hope is that at least I'm kind of hoping the government. Normally I wouldn't, but in this case I'm kind of hoping the government does not allow it. I'm hoping that that Brazil and maybe the U.S. kind of like cancels it. But if they do, then what the hell are we gonna do? It's done by that point. Like I said, this has in the U.S. I think this has like a year to go because I think they said that they expected it to be completed by June of next year. So you have an entire year to go until this entire thing is officially finished. And again, by that point, I don't like it. But if that does come to pass, I'm just gonna have to accept it. Okay. All I can hope is that a lot of I'll say this: if it does happen, pray to God that Microsoft like allows a lot of the smaller IPs we haven't heard from in like 20 goddamn years to actually appear on this for Microsoft to actually develop them. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I just want those to come back, you know. There's a lot of classic IPs that Activision owns. I mean, when was the last time they touched Pitfall? Yeah, it's been a long time. They've got a lot of IPs they've been sitting on. So, yeah, hopefully that's the best we can work that's the best we can kind of hope out of it. But anyway, moving on. Oh, fuck you. Fucking cookies. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Sony PlayStation being sued for $5 billion amid claims it ripped off 9 million consumers. Oof. Consumers have been overcharged for their digital game purchases by much as $5 billion over the last 6 years. The legal action states that estimated damages per individual estimates between £67 and £562. Hold on a second. I've been talking for so long that starting to get to my voice. But anyway, says here, Sony PlayStation is being sued for $5 billion by 9 million claimants amid accusations to rip people off with overpriced games and in-game purchases. The legal claim is a collective action against the gaming company brought by consumer rights champion Alex Neil. I don't know who that is. It accuses the company of breach of competition law by abusing its market power to impose unfair terms and conditions on game developers and publishers, forcing up prices for consumers. It allegedly ripped people off by charging a 30% commission on every digital game and in-game purchase made through the PlayStation Store. Consumers have been overcharged for their digital gaming purchases by as much as £5 billion over the last 6 years, the legal action states. Oof. Oh boy. Now, here's the thing. I'm not surprised that they would be doing that. Like, that they're being accused of that, okay? In fact, let's be honest here. A lot of digital games, in my humble opinion, are already overpriced. Especially when they charge you the same amount as a physical copy. Because the way I see it is, if I'm paying something just for the game file itself, and not for the disc and the packaging, I shouldn't have to pay. I should be paying less. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be paying $60 for a digital game if you're not getting the case and the game on a disc. It makes no sense in my opinion. So, yeah, of course you're being ripped off. But that's the thing is, I would have to see proof of this, but again, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. According to the claim filed with the Competition Appeal Tribunal on Friday, anyone in the UK who has purchased digital games or add-on content on their console or via the PlayStation Store since August 19th, 2016 is included in the claim and is potentially entitled to compensation. Of course, this is obviously in the UK, so anyone outside there, including myself, can't be part of it. I think I was part of that one lawsuit when... I think I was part of the lawsuit that was filed. This is years ago. This is like... I think it was part of the PSN shutdown in 2011. Can you believe that was 11 years ago? My God. Anyway, when the PlayStation Network was down for like a month, I think it was like a month, someone filed there was a massive lawsuit and you could claim it. And because I owned a PS3 at that time and I was technically affected by it, I was able to claim it, and I actually did. So I forgot what I got out of that. It was a small amount. It was a very small amount. But anyway, with this legal action, I'm standing up for the millions of UK people who have been unwittingly overcharged. We believe Sony has abused its position and ripped off its customers. Folks, it does that all the time. They do that all the time. Hell, you know what's the biggest piece of bullshit? Do you know when you open up a game? Now, we're not talking like putting the game in the disc and playing it. I mean literally opening the case. Okay? Do you know that according to Sony's EULA, you've agreed to it the moment you open the packaging? Yeah. Yeah, they fucking do that shit. They do that shit all the goddamn time. So, I'm glad to see someone is taking them to court. Because if people are getting fucked over, then Sony deserves to be taken to court. No doubt about it. So, I don't want to say rooting, because I know in the UK, rooting is another term for fucking. I found that out the hard way many years ago. Okay? But, I want to say I am sort of, I'm behind this. I think, okay, yeah. If you're getting screwed over by Sony from this, then yeah, you deserve compensation. Anyway, moving on to our next story. Gamescom 2022. That's right. Now, I didn't cover Gamescom mostly because I don't think there was really a lot to cover other than the price hike. Like, the price hike was one of the major news announcements out of Gamescom. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's starting to happen. My voice is starting to get to me because I've been talking nonstop for 30 minutes. So, but anyway, I didn't really talk about Gamescom because, well, there wasn't really much to talk about. But of course, they did have their awards. So let's talk about that for a bit. Okay, so here are their awards. So first and foremost, Best Action Adventure Game, Lies of P. Best Action Game, Metal Hellsinger. Best Family Game, Paper Trail. Best Indie Game, Inculinati. I think that's how you pronounce it. Best Multiplayer Game, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. Wait a minute, there's a Goat Simulator 3? What the fuck? Oh man, that's awesome. I like the first Goat Simulator. Best Ongoing Game, Sea of Thieves, which I haven't yet played. I need to get that one. Actually, wait a minute. What the fuck? Microsoft does not... So no matter who won, no matter who lost, Microsoft still won. Okay, that's fucking rigged. That is fucking rigged. You gotta be shitting me right there. That's bullshit. Best role-playing game, Lies of P. Man, Lies of P must have been pretty good. I didn't see any footage of it. Must be. I'll have to check that one out. Best sports/racing game, AEW Fight Forever. Wrestling. Okay. Best strategy simulation game, Ixion. I think that's pronounced it Ixion. Best original game, Inculnati. All right. Most wanted Microsoft Xbox game, The Last Case of Benedict Fox. Seems interesting. Most wanted Nintendo Switch game, Tin Hearts. Oh, I'm surprised it's not like a Nintendo game. It's actually a third-party game. That's interesting. Most wanted PC game, Metal Hellslinger. Oh man, System Shock didn't win? Ah, that's a shame, because I'm looking forward to the System Shock remake. I played the demo a couple years ago. That one, it was pretty good. They did a fantastic job with it, so I'm looking forward to that. Most wanted Sony PlayStation game, Lies of P. God damn, this thing keeps winning awards out the ass. I'm going to have to check this one out. Consumer Award, Best Booth. Bandai Namco Entertainment. Winner, Best Trailer, Hogwarts Legacy. Gamescom Global Awards. Let's see, winner, Gamescom Goes Green Award goes to Yuki. Best Lineup, Play On. Heart of Gaming Award, the Gaming Industry Solidarity Campaigns for Ukraine. I understand that one. And that's it. So, congratulations to all the winner. I'm going to have to check out Life of P. Like, that actually sounds... like, the fact that it's getting all these awards, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to check that out. Oh, what? Oh, fuck. Whoops. Whoa. Oh, this is still bullshit. I don't know what the fuck Microsoft is doing over here. Come on. That's fucking rigged. That's rigged. All right. Okay, and for our next story. So, as you guys know, recently Valve opened up the Steam Deck for pre-order in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Of course, I'm just reading that. But anyway, they've opened it up for Asian markets. And in order to celebrate it, they put out this little book all about the Steam Deck. And it's very informative. It talks about all the things. Valve began in 1996. Oh, yeah. Fun fact, by the way. Want to know a fun fact about how Valve started? They literally, the founders of Valve literally Valve was founded the day Gabe Newell got married. I'm not shitting you. I remember watching this because many years ago, so there's a show called GeForce Icons, and they talked about, and they did an episode on Valve, and they talked about the founding of it, and apparently, literally the day of Gabe Newell's wedding, the guy with the paperwork to start the company up showed up at the wedding, and they said literally they're outside the church. They're all in tuxedos. They're on the hood of a car trying to quickly sign paperwork while the organ music is playing in the background. So yes, it's probably the easiest way to remember your wedding anniversary is that, oh yeah, it's the day my company was founded. So yeah, it's an interesting little piece of Valve history. But anyway, that's not why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this because they go down and they talk about all the Steam Deck and look at all the little designs for the Steam Deck, which is always interesting. It's like looking at the different designs for the PlayStation and Xbox controllers. But more specifically, I want to talk about this one thing at the very bottom. Where is it? There we go. The future. More Steam Decks, more Steam OS. Steam Deck represents the first in a new category of Steam handheld gaming PCs. In the future, Valve will follow up on this product with improvements and iterations to hardware and software, bringing new versions of Steam Deck to market. Like the original, like all PCs, these future products will continue to provide access to the same Steam game catalog that gamers already know and love. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, Valve has confirmed that there is going to be future Steam Deck revisions. Now, it kind of begs the question of how and when. Obviously, I think we're not going to hear about a Steam Deck 2 or a Pro, whatever the hell you want to call it, for quite a while. Steam Deck 4K. Okay, I don't think we're going to hear about that for quite a while, especially with the shipping and production issues that are hitting the world right now. Excuse me for a second. But I have to wonder when it's going to come, when they actually are going to announce something like this. My guess is maybe in about 3 years from now, when all these shipping and production issues are figured out, and eventually we can actually, get more Steam Decks out there, and they can develop a next generation Steam Deck. But I just found that very interesting how they basically confirmed that yes, there is another Steam Deck in production. You know what? I think if anything, if they are going to do another Steam Deck, my hope is that it'll at least have. I'm not gonna look. Obviously, it's not gonna have 4K. It's not gonna have 120 FPS and all that kind of crap. All I can ask for is, or RTX or whatever. All I can ask is that it at least has a 1080p screen. I don't mind the screen on the Steam Deck. Games look very nice in it, but I would prefer something that did have 1080p. And, maybe a little better connectivity with PCs and stuff. Well, there's already connectivity, but you know what I mean. Like, a lot of improvements. I think the Steam Deck definitely does need a lot of improvements. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Valve does next. So, I honestly think the Steam Deck is a much better device than the Steam Link, whatever they called it. What is it? It was up here before. Hold on. Where are you? Yeah, the Steam Link. It's obviously something far better than the Steam Link. It serves a far better purpose because it's not just a little box you connect to your television. It's a handheld. You could take it wherever you want. So I think it also works with the Steam controller, but I don't know. I just think obviously the Steam Deck has a better purpose than the Steam controller and the Steam Link. So I look forward to see what Valve does in the future. I definitely look forward to see what a future Steam Deck will look like, what features it will have, how more powerful will it be over the next one. And you know what? That actually might not be good for Nintendo, because if Valve puts out a Steam Deck that is far more powerful than really any home that's on par with the PS5, the Xbox Series X, then Nintendo better get their shit together and come out with a Switch that can actually compete against that. And for our last story, coming from Niche Gamer, we've got legendary Dragon Quest composer Koichi Sugiyama gets a new TV drama. Now, it's not major gaming news, but I did want to cover it because I thought it was very interesting. Nihon Television, and that is how you properly pronounce it, announced a new TV drama based on Dragon Quest composer Koichi Sugiyama and how he composed the series' legendary main overture theme, which is amazing, Dun 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 dun. Yep. Titled The Story of Koichi Sugiyama, The Untold Story of Dragon Quest Overture. A premiere set for August 27th. Of course, this is the 31st, so it's obviously already premiered. And I haven't watched it yet, but I am very much interested in seeing this. Because that's the thing. Sometimes Japan, they do these TV dramas, docudramas, whatever you want to call it, about famous people in gaming. A couple of years ago, History Channel Japan, I shit you not, they did a special about Gunpei Yokoi and his development of, I think, like the Game & Watch. I think it was on the Game & Watch because I only saw one clip on YouTube and that's it. But I've wanted to see the full thing for a while now. You can't find it. So I'm hoping, I hope to God I could kind of find and watch this because I'm definitely interested in seeing this entire thing. So definitely really cool. Anyway, with that being said, let's see, August 28th around 9:50 a.m. Japan time. So it's already oh wait, wait, I misread that. Shit. Okay. No, that's a live performance will feature a medley of Dragon Quest songs. Okay, that will broadcast at 9:50 a.m. Or is that p.m.? I don't know. Anyway, But still, I think that's actually really cool. I think it's great. Now, obviously, I'll say this because people are going to bring it up. Koichi Sugiyama's politics. Now, I understand that Koichi Sugiyama did not have the best politics in. Did not have the best politics. Okay. He was very much an Japanese ultra nationalist. He was very much defending of comfort women and during World War II, and he said a lot of anti-LGBT statements, and I get that. I get it. Okay, I don't agree with his opinions either, but sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist. Okay, I understand sometimes that's hard to do. Okay, there are artists whose works I love. I can't stand their politics. I can't stand their worldview. I like John Lennon. Okay, I'm using this example. I like John Lennon. I think he's a great musician. But I think when it came to politics, he was a fucking idiot. Okay? We're talking about a retard who thought he could sit in a bed all day and that would somehow bring about world peace. Okay? Even though I don't agree with his politics, I can listen to Beatles music and some of his solo music, even though I can't stand some of it. Imagine's overrated. Okay? It's a shitty commie song. Okay? I can listen to the Beatles music and I can kind of separate that. All right. So sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist. Sometimes it's hard to do. I understand that. But in this case, you have to do that, especially when it comes to Dragon Quest. Because again, Koichi Sugiyama, he only composed the music. He didn't create the series. That was Yuji Horii. He didn't program it. He didn't illustrate it. Of course, that was Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. All he did was just compose the music. Okay, and you know what? It's good music. It's fantastic music. So, anyway, I think I've talked actually too much long on this, but definitely I'm gonna see if I'm gonna check that out. See if you guys can check it out as well, because I think it sounds like a very interesting program. I'm gonna actually, you know what? Let me see. Copy that, and I'll search it later. Anyway, with that being said. And that's it for this week. I want to thank you all guys for listening. There's not much for me to do here. Yeah. Let's see. No chat. Okay. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, I understand. I only have like 79 subscribers. Okay. I understand not everyone's going to watch. I'm not going to pull the same numbers as other big name YouTubers. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm only doing this so I could look, the reason why I'm doing the show live is just to give myself some time to work on some projects I need to do. Alright? That's all. So, anyway, with that being said, I want to thank you all for listening. Even if you didn't catch it live, I'm at least hoping you at least caught it on the replay. And with that being said, I'm done. I'm out of here. I want to thank you all for listening. I'll see you later. See you next week. And remember to keep gaming.